This is the story time of when I moved 150 miles to move into a new home, and this is what I turned up to. I had just left my council property to move private rent, and this is what he wanted to rent me for £1,000 a month. We actually had to move in. We had to move in. All of our stuff was outside. I was just stood there scratching my head on what I was going to do, because this house was not livable. Nobody could move in here, and yet we had to move in. There was a waste pipe in the dining room. Here's the story time of my shit show of a week. I was relocating 150 miles away. I'd been in talks with the landlord the entire time. He was getting me to pick flooring, he was getting me to pick kitchens, etc, etc. I walked into a derelict building.
Private renting, but make it character building. The electric's wired to the wrong breaker because who doesn't love a surprise fire? ERCR who? No fire alarm, no carbon monoxide alarm, just trust. Scent profile sewage, undertones of regret. Dining room featured exposed waste pipe. And the door that I sealed because it was literal do not enter. The window fitter turned up to remove that window. The kitchen was turning into compost. The bathroom that said maybe later, hon. The bath panel emotionally attached, physically not. I paid for plastering on that wall and they robbed me. The garage stairs door not included. The boiler wired with confidence, not qualifications. The rotting windowsill that I had to use as a fridge to make sure my baby could still have her milk, and I had to wash her stuff in the sink and dry it on the radiator because I had disabled children in this house. Anyway, we clearly did not move into that shit show and we ran back home.
But it looked cosmetic, so at first I thought, oh, that's fine, it's cosmetic, it's going to be absolutely fine. The flooring was getting done. Look at the state of my nails. The flooring was getting done at that time, so I thought it was just cosmetic. Then my friend's partner came to help with some flat pack, and that's when he noticed the electrics. So an ERCR wasn't done on the property, which is illegal. Legally, that has to be done. There was live wires exposed. There was things that I just wouldn't have noticed as a mum. Like I did not notice these things. It was a very, very dangerous situation. Now, from then there was also a smell in the kitchen, and obviously the kitchen you couldn't use the kitchen. It was basically turned into compost. There was a smell of raw sewage that I did not notice before, but it became stronger and stronger and stronger. Like, I literally had to block off that door to make sure nobody could go in there. It was awful. The workmen down tools because they said they wasn't getting paid. The bathroom downstairs wasn't finished. The dining room wasn't finished. There was an exposed waste pipe in the dining room. I was told all that would be resolved by the landlord, but then I was getting told by the tradesmen that nobody was getting paid. So I knew that work wasn't going to get done. Everyone down tools and left. And then I was just stood in this absolute shit shell of a house thinking, what the fuck am I going to do next? Then I get a knock on the door. It's only a window fitter that was coming to, he wanted to remove the window from the front of the house because he hadn't got paid either. I don't know if there was a complete oversight from the landlord, if he'd bitten off more than he could chew, if he hadn't realised all the works that needed done on the property. I don't know. But the lack of transparency and the lack of communication to say, look, this property isn't ready yet, was the ultimate failing in my eyes. So yeah, now we'll be returning to our council house. That's all we can do. Return to our council house. I will not be trying to move again, because absolutely no thank you. Never in a million years. Thank the Lord Jesus Christ above us that all the children can go back to their respective schools and we can just go back home and pretend none of this ever happened. It was just in a very expensive, very, very, very exhausting week holiday that we 0 out of 10 would not recommend.